Well, this week, Channel News is proud to bring you a series of reports from Southeast Asia. You may recall last fall, Channel's Shachi Kurl was awarded a fellowship from the Jack Webster Foundation and the Canadian International Development Agency. Last month, Shachi traveled to Cambodia and Vietnam to report on the everyday development challenges that people there are facing and how people from Vancouver Island are getting involved in helping. Tonight, in a country where between 4 and 6 million landmines are lying in wait to kill and maim, Shachi shows us firsthand the mammoth task at clearing them.
Landmines. They are Cambodia's invisible killers. Mass murderers once described as perfect soldiers for their ability to kill, to maim, and to instill paralyzing fear. It is the sharp thread that weaves through so many stories in this country, though spending time in the capital, you won't necessarily see it. Phnom Penh is a city of contrasts. Amid chaotic traffic, good-natured patience that blunts road rage. A place where even in the squalor of a slum, you discover the glamour of a wedding ceremony. A place where poverty and privilege peacefully coexist, and where capitalist growth is tempered by the stillness of spiritual life. In Cambodia's rural regions, things go much, much slower. A cautious way of life because life here is under threat every day. This country is pockmarked with silent killers. They're landmines, and they're hidden often just below ground, just along the sides of roads like these. In this village, Chi San, with a population of just over 1,000, 24 have lost their lives or their limbs to landmines. It is the dirty, indiscriminate, crippling legacy of civil war, of invasion, and of a madman's brutal regime. But even today, even in peacetime, Cambodians continue to suffer. Over the last 3 decades, 40,000 Cambodians have suffered amputations due to mine injuries, one of the highest ratios in the world. I have to say, I wasn't sure what a minefield would look like. Turns out they aren't much more than swaths of undeveloped bush and forest and field. But this is where people live and work, where lean farmers eke out an even leaner existence, where skinny cows graze on parched grass, and where lives depend on not stepping in the wrong place. Across the country and here, close to the Thai border, demining teams use metal detectors to identify trouble spots. There are no maps or charts to guide them.
There's
no way to know how many mines are in this area. So far, we've found 68 mines in just 2 square kilometers.
The process is painstaking, agonizingly slow. It happens bit by bit, grid by grid, inches at a time. The work is also extremely risky. Earlier this year, 7 deminers died trying to keep others alive. Now, you'd think the reality that's bred a growth industry in prosthetic limbs would leave people angry. But when amputations are nothing new, normalcy breeds its own kind of philosophy.
This probably happened to me because of a sin I committed in my past life.
At a rehabilitation center run by Handicap International in southern Cambodia, we meet 39-year-old Wat Moeng. Once a Khmer Rouge soldier, his leg was blown off in the line of duty. And perhaps most surprisingly, he says he has no ill will to the people, his people, who planted mines so carelessly and indiscriminately throughout his country.
I blame the foreign manufacturers. If it weren't for them, there would be no mines. Besides, in war, you can't avoid mines.
But not everyone feels that way. Back in the minefield, Long Sray has many reasons for working among the mines that could so easily take his life. The first, a landmine has already taken his leg.
I was working on a plantation, working for a big businessman. That's when I stepped on a mine.
A man once considered unemployable has a purpose now.
I feel good because I'm working for my community, so people will be safer than I was.
Today, at least, that purpose brings success. Srey has uncovered a killer. It's hard, but you can just make it out. A small metal spot in the mud. 3 long whistle blasts, 3 short ones, then this. It may not seem like much, but this day represents a victory. And the results are tangible. Up the road in a space once pockmarked by mines, children now play in a schoolyard. Some say it will be another 50 years before every mine in Cambodia is cleared. Others say it will take a century. Today, the team goes home smiling. 1 mine cleared, no limbs lost. 1 more scar beginning to heal.
Shachi joins us now live with more. Shachi, you were an observer in the minefield, but at one point you took a more active role. Tell us about that.
Well, Hudson, just before that mine was detonated, we all had to be backed up about 100 meters for safety reasons. I had to lock off the camera and walk away and pray that we got that shot. But just before the mine was detonated, the team leader, who you saw in the story, passed the remote control to me and asked me if I wanted to do the honors. And I did my best to blow things up real good. I think we have a photo that was taken right after that shot. There it is. That's the gratuitous trophy shot after we detonated some landmines, Hudson. Now, it's been almost 10 years since 122 countries gathered in Canada to sign an international mine ban treaty that's often referred to as the Ottawa Convention. But that doesn't mean mines still aren't being planted, often illegally, and it certainly doesn't mean those that are in the ground will be gone anytime soon.
It's amazing the attitude of the people there. We saw it in your report. You've been telling us stories in the newsroom since you got back. What do we see in your series tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow we show a little bit of what happens during life after landmines. What happens to the people who lose their limbs, because life does go on for them, and sometimes things turn out better than we might imagine.
All right. Shachi Kurl reporting. Shachi, thanks.
You're welcome.
To that.